everyone. Good morning and welcome to the special meeting of the Board of Public Works for Tuesday, July 7, 2020. It is now 10:11. Our meeting is about to get started. Executive Officer.
Good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Establishing roll call for today, we have our newly appointed Commissioner, Greg Good, and we also are joined by Vice President Garcia in the boardroom. We are also joined by Commissioner Villegas and also Commissioner Caloza that are dialing in remotely. Commissioner Davis will be joining us in a short while. He's not part of quorum at this time, but he should be joining us in the next couple of minutes. We are also joined by our General Counsel, Adina Hopenstad, and myself, Fernando Campos, here in the boardroom. Vice President Garcia, you do have a quorum at this time. Currently, we do not have any speakers under the general public comments. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comments section. No speaker cards on any of the items for today's special agenda as well.
Thank you, Executive Officer. I would like to take this special time to welcome Commissioner Greg Good to our board. Welcome.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. It is an honor and a pleasure. I very much look forward to working with everyone here, and I really appreciate being here with you.
Thank you. Well, we have a long meeting, so yay for your first initial one. We have no speaker cards under public comment or neighborhood council, right, Executive Officer Dr. Campos?
That's correct, no speakers.
Having heard no speaker cards on general public comments, let's go ahead and close public comments. Also, let's close the neighborhood council commentary as well. That takes us to our first item of business. Item number 1, the approval of minutes for the meeting of Friday, June 19, 2020. Is there a second to my motion to approve both meeting minutes?
Second.
I'll second.
I have a second from Commissioner Greg Good, and I believe I heard Villegas. Commissioner Villegas?
Yes.
Yes. I feel like she's somewhere out here. I don't see her.
I'm in the air.
I know, you're like a spirit. I'm like, where are you? All right, thank you, Commissioner Villegas, for seconding our first item.
And Vice President Garcia, I can change the Zoom video to show everyone at the same time, so I'll change it in the next couple of minutes.
Okay, no problem.
After bids, or if you want, I can change it right now if you give me 30
seconds. It's up to you. It's up to you. It was just, I could hear Villegas, I just can't see her. Okay, so second by Commissioner Villegas and Commissioner Good. Any objections, Commissioner Caloza?
No objections, thank you.
Hearing none, those minutes have been approved. Bear with me. All right. Ready, Dr. Campos? Yes. All right. This takes us to item number 2. Item number 2 on the agenda is bids to be received at 10 a.m. for the following public works projects. 1, North Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation Unit 14, Marsh Street to Forney Street. 2, Advanced Transportation and Congestion Management Technologies Deployment Project. Let's take our public comment at this time. Is there anybody for this one, Dr. Campos?
Vice President Garcia, we do not have any commentary, no public speakers at this time for item 2.
Our representative, okay, thank you very much for that, so we'll move on. Our representative for today will be Dr. Campos on this item.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. We will open up 2 bids, or bids for 2 projects. The first project, again, is for the North Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation Unit 14 on Marsh Street to Forney Street. This is in Council District number 13. The estimated project, or the estimated cost for this project is $19,850,500 even. The second project we will open up bids for is for the Advanced Transportation and Congestion Management Technologies Deployment Project. This is a federal project number ATCMTDL in Council District 4 and 13. The estimated project cost is $2,229,236 even. Again, that was for the second project. We will now begin to open up bids for the first project. Again, it's for the North Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation Project in Council District 13. We did receive 7 bids in total. The first bid is from Maladen Buntich Construction Company, Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $15,822,000 $64 even, that's 15822-064 from Mladen Buntich Construction Company Incorporated. The second bid received for this first project is from Vido Artukovic and Son Incorporated, /Vidmar Incorporated, AJV. That's A for Apple, J for Jack, V for Victor, for a total bid amount of $21,436,000 even. That's 21436,000 from Vido Artukovic and Son Incorporated. The third proposal received for this first project is from Kolich and Sons LP for a total bid amount of $20,324,245 even. That's 20324,245 from Kolich and Sons LP. Apologies, Kolich and Sons LP. The fourth bid received for this project is from MNR Construction Incorporated for a total bid amount of $22,700,250. Let me repeat that again, $22,702,250 even. That's 22702,250 from MNR Construction Incorporated. The fifth proposal received for this project is from Spinello Infrastructure West Incorporated for a total bid amount of $17,754,612 even. That's 17754,612 from Spinello Infrastructure West Incorporated. For the record, line item number 14 has been lined out by the contractor, and the line has been initialed as well. The next bid received is from Tite Church Energy and Utilities Group Incorporated. That's TEICHERT Energy and Utilities Group Incorporated for a total bid amount of $22,980,000 even. That's 22980,000 from Tite Church Energy and Utilities Group Incorporated. For the record, line item number 13, line item 19, line item 33, and also the total bid amount has been lined out by the contractor, and all four lines have been initialed by the contractor as well. The seventh and final bid received for this first project is from JR Pipeline Company Incorporated for a total bid amount of $17,350,000 even. That's 17350,000 from JR Pipeline Company Incorporated. For the record, line item number 1 has been lined out by the contractor, and it has been initialed. Let me just repeat the number. It's 1172210. Again, it's been lined out and initialed by the contractor on line item number 1, and that's for JR Pipeline Company Incorporated. Vice President Garcia, that concludes the bid openings for the first project. We will now begin to open up bids for the second project. Again, the second project is for the Advanced Transportation and Congestion Management Technologies Deployment Project, a federal project in Council District 4 and 13. We did receive 4 bids for the second project. The estimated cost for this project is $2,229,236 even. The first bid received for the second project is from Select Electric Incorporated for a total bid amount of $2,697,301 even. That's 2697301 from Select Electric Incorporated. The second bid received for this second project is from International Line Builders Incorporated for a total bid amount of $2,702,366 even. That's 2702366 from International Line Builders Incorporated. The next bid is from Baker Electric Incorporated for a total bid amount of $2,524,881 even. That's 25248 881 from Baker Electric Incorporated. For the record, line item number 16 has been lined out and initialed by the contractor. The fourth and final bid received for this second project is from Crosstown Electrical and Data Incorporated for a total bid amount of $2,382,700 even. That's 2382700 from Crosstown Electrical and Data Incorporated. Vice President Garcia, that concludes the bid openings for the second project and all bids for today's special agenda as well.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. Commissioners, are there any questions on this item? Commissioner Villegas?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Calosa?
No questions, thank you.
And I don't see a light from Commissioner Good. So having said that, hearing there is no questions, is there a second to my motion to open, receive, and declare all bids for item number 1 forthwith?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Calosa. Any objections? Commissioner Villegas?
No objections.
Commissioner Good? Hearing none, this item is adopted and sent forthwith. Dr. Campos, that takes us to item number 3. This takes in Council District 1. This is an administrative civil liability order. Los Angeles Regional Water Quality Control Board North Spring Street Viaduct Retrofit and Rehabilitation Project. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the city engineer to increase payment amount to the Los Angeles Regional Water Quality Board by $104,000 and for a total payment of $209,049 in lieu of implementing a supplemental environmental project to settle the stipulated order RA 2018-0101. Our representative today is Shirley Lau. Shirley Lau?
Yes, good morning. Shirley Lau with the Bureau of Engineering Bridge Improvement Division. The item before you is for the North Spring Street Viaduct Retrofit and Rehabilitation Project. This project was completed in November of 2018, and it seismically retrofitted the viaduct and widened it by 23 feet on the south side to accommodate for travel lanes, a striped median, shoulders, and also sidewalks. Prior to construction, the city was required to receive approval for the 401 certification that would allow the city to construct within the Los Angeles River. The Regional Water Quality Control Board, they have jurisdiction of water quality control, and so we received that certification prior to construction since we were doing work within the Los Angeles River. The contractor was required to follow best management practices while working in the river to minimize water quality impact. The Water Board in 2014 and 2015, they did random site inspections and they observed several violations to the certification during the construction. And so on March 3rd, 2016, they issued the administrative civil liability claim to the city. They proposed a fine of $513,165 due to the violations. And so after numerous reviews and rounds of negotiations, which I attended as well as the city attorney's office, the city and the Water Board agreed on a final settlement amount of $105,049 with the stipulation that the city develop and implement a supplemental environmental project, which we call a SEP, which was to benefit water quality. And it was also stipulated in the order that was in transmittal number 1. So the board had concurred with this initial settlement and the agreement to do the SEP. The SEP is estimated at $104,000 to construct, and so that's why the final settlement agreement would be $209,049. The Water Board originally agreed to conceptually the SEP, and we were waiting for them to approve the SEP so that we could do the construction as part of the Phase 2 project for the North Spring Street Viaduct. However, after a more in-depth review, the Water Board rejected the SEP, and they said that it did not provide adequate water quality benefits. So after further discussions, also involving the City Attorney's Office, we determined that it would not be feasible to construct a SEP that would be of meaningful water quality benefits with the allotted budget. And so we decided that it was best to pay the full settlement amount of $209,049. Since the contractor is responsible for complying with all the requirements in the project permits and the certification, we had a deductive change order for the violations in the certification. And the stipulated order settlement agreement has been reviewed and approved as to form by the city attorney. Therefore, the stipulated order payment requested in this board report, it's within the budget approved by the Seismic Governance Committee and has no impact on the general fund, and we had deducted the amount from the contractor. Therefore, BOE requests the board approve the recommendations set forth in this report. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mrs. Lau. That was a good report. Any questions, commissioners? I don't see Commissioner Good light on. Commissioner Calosa.
I don't have a question. I wasn't sure if Commissioner Villegas said she did.
Yes, I'm going to call on him now. Fernando knows where he's on the process of logging in. I know he's having technical issues.
No, he's actually logged in right now
Oh,
through
good.
audio. I'm going to go ahead and dispatch him. Commissioner Davis?
Yes, I have no questions on that particular item.
No questions?
No questions? Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Nice to hear from you. Commissioner Villegas.
Hi, thank you. Yes, I just had a minor question and just clarification. Shirley, thanks for that report. That was really helpful. I just wanted to know if you could speak to the types of violations and if those violations, I think you mentioned that they were done by the contractor. Was the scope of the work that we gave the contractor, was the contractor abiding by those?
So the scope of the work, it involved the foundation, and so we were working in the LA River. We had a lot of excavation around the abutment area, and when they were excavating, they had a lot of dirt. So when they took out the dirt, they set it aside in order to either truck it later or leave it in the river for a little bit of time. It was just unfortunate that the water board performed that site inspection while they were excavating, and one of the violations was that they had to put a tarp and maintain that none of the dirt would impact air quality, I guess. And so that was one of the general violations, was the stockpile in the river. So yes, that it is stipulated that they had to either remove it or cover it up, and it was not done at that time. Other violations in general relate to their equipment and how they had to have drip pans. And so I think at the time that they were there was a lot of equipment, and so the photos that they took, the equipment was not, the equipment that was sitting there also did not have drip pans. One other, I guess, general violation was during construction, they were required to take samples of the water upstream from the construction area and downstream from the construction area, so that the difference in turbidity and pH would be a determination of any violations. However, that was one of the items at the city attorney's office and BOE we went to discuss with them. Some of the variances, it was ongoing because we took samples every week. Some of the variances happened even before we were in the river, because there are a lot of leak holes and other storm drains that go into the river. And so we felt like the water quality aspect deterioration between the upstream and the downstream not necessarily stemmed from our construction sites, because a lot of the data was we had to do it I guess 1 month prior to the start of construction, and even after we left the river, we still had to continue that. So there was a lot of also storm drains along the path, along the section that could have contributed to the water quality deterioration. So that was a lot of the change that you see from the original fine of $513,000 and down to the $209,000 amount. It was for those violations.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Thanks for the clarification.
You're welcome.
I don't have any more questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas and Shirley Lau. Is there a second to my motion to adopt item forthwith? Item 3?
I'll
Thank you,
second.
Commissioner Good. Thank you, Commissioner Good and Commissioner Calosa. Second, any objections? Commissioner Villegas?
No objections.
Any objections, Commissioner Davis?
No objections.
Thank you. Hearing none, this item is approved and moving forthwith. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4, thank you, Shirley Lau.
Thank you.
This takes us to item number 4th in our agenda. Item number 4 in Council District 4, Annual Assessment Confirmation, Wilshire Miracle Mile Sidewalk Maintenance District. Recommending the board to 1, approve this report and set an early hearing date for the confirmation of assessments. 2, instruct the city clerk to publish the notice of the hearing once in a newspaper published and circulated in the city of Los Angeles at least 10 days prior to the hearing date. 3, approve the increase in assessments by 0.9% for the fiscal year 2020-2021 per ordinance numbers 172-103, Section 14, adopted by Los Angeles City Council on July 15, 1998. 4, confirm assessments immediately if protests are denied at hearing. 5, upon confirmation of the assessments, instruct the Board of Public Works to furnish to the Los Angeles County Tax Collector a list of the assessments to be levied on each parcel in the district for the period ending June 30, 2021, and cause a notice of assessment to be published. All right, our representative today is Monica Shelton. Monica, please tell us what you want us to do here. Ms. Shelton?
Monica, if you can unmute yourself by pressing *6. There you go. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. This is Monica, and I'm here today representing the Bureau of Street Services on this item. And we are discussing, as you mentioned, the Wilshire Miracle Mile. Now, I'm going to give you just a little bit of history on this area. The sidewalk maintenance program dates back to 1972, and it authorizes the county to collect fees and supplemental property tax from the property owners that receive a special benefit for the maintenance work in this assessment district. Now, this is the last of 5 sidewalk maintenance districts that are still active in the city. And the prior years, there used to be the Hollywood and Vine, Van Nuys, Ventura, Westwood Village, and now Wilshire Miracle Mile. All the other ones prior have since dissolved through an ordinance. Now, the type of special benefits that this particular area receives is we do extra cleaning of the sidewalks, trimming of the trees, emptying the trash receptacles, cleaning of the tree wells, and all other related cleaning for this area. Now, in addition to that, we prepared a list of parcels to be assessed for this area, which includes the details of our findings in the reports that you have before you. Now, the assessments to the property owner, in order for us to move forward, it must be approved annually by City Council. The City Council's action provides the authorities that we need to give to the county that will assess these particular property parcels. This particular report also includes a consumer price index increase of 0.9% per the ordinance and authority that the council must approve that or should approve that increase. So what we are recommending is that the board accept this report and which will allow a series of events to follow regarding the city's ability to collect the funds from the property owners for the special maintenance of work being provided in the Wilshire Miracle Mile area. For these reasons, the board should accept, adopt, and forward this report and transmit it to the city clerk and city council with the recommendations as stated in the report. This will approve the list of parcels to be assessed, approve the 0.9% of the CPI for the Los Angeles area. Once council approves this report, we would then follow the policies and procedures that are outlined in the Los Angeles County Tax Assessor's Guide for Assessment Collection. Our role in street services, our goal would be to take an active role in this process by actively participating in the process once the board accepts this report, by notifying Council District 4 of the upcoming hearing, monitoring the council file for council action, and once council adopts the report, follow the policies and procedures outlined in the Los Angeles County Tax Assessor's Guide. We will continue monitoring the work currently being performed by the current contractor, which is Far East Landscape and Maintenance Incorporated, who was awarded the cleaning and maintenance contract for this area that dates back to November 2017 and expires this year, November 1st. So once the report is approved, the benefits for Wilshire Miracle Mile community would continue with the cleaning, the trimming of the trees, and the emptying of the receptacles and cleaning of the tree well. Now, future and ongoing services. We are currently exploring other options on the best way to continue future cleaning services for this area once this contract expires, which can probably be explained in more detail by our Assistant Director, Stephanie Clemens, if she's on the line. Stephanie?
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Stephanie.
Okay. Hi, good morning. This is Stephanie Clements, Assistant Director, Streets LA. Yes, in this new normal that we're in, where the economy is not looking good and we're looking for additional revenues to supplement our declining budgets, we are exploring not issuing an RFP for this contract and instead bringing these services in-house and having Urban Forestry Division complete those services on behalf of the property owners. So that's it, but we're here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clemens. Any questions, commissioners? Commissioner Good has a question.
Thank you both for the presentation. Just a quick check. Do y'all does BS or does Streets LA anticipate any opposition from the community?
Not to my knowledge. I spoke with the Wilshire Chamber of Commerce, and I've also been in contact with Council District 4, and this is something that we have been annually doing since 1998, and CD4 is aware of it.
And one follow-up question. This is more out of curiosity, and I apologize if you already said this, but when does this ordinance expire, or is there any sunset to this at all?
It is my understanding, in speaking with the city attorney, that this ordinance is ongoing until we take action to basically dissolve the ordinance.
Thank you.
Yes, that's correct.
Question, I have a question as well. How often do we do this?
When you say do this, you're talking about the cleaning, or do we go before council?
I guess both.
Okay. We do it annually. We do it every year around the summer.
Okay.
We go before council every year, and we've been doing this since 1998.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Calosa?
No questions for me, thank you.
Any questions, Commissioner Davis?
No, I'm fine on this item.
Okay. Any questions, Commissioner Villegas?
No questions, no questions. I'm just, coming from LA County, this is a form of, this is another mechanism for local government to be able to generate funds, to be able to do landscaping. And I know at the county, I still say we, and I've already been here for 9 months, my apologies. I know the county does this regularly. And so frankly, I'm actually surprised that the city has one landscaping district, or I don't think that they call it landscaping. I apologize for my wording here. They call it a sidewalk maintenance district. but this is just a form of generating funds. So I have no questions, but thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Villegas, is that a motion from you?
I move.
I'll second Commissioner Villegas' motion. Any objections? Commissioner Calosa?
No objections for me, thank you.
Commissioner Davis?
None, I'm okay.
And I don't see a light from Commissioner Good. Having said that, and hearing no objections, this item has been approved and it will be sent forthwith. Thank you, everyone, for that. Thank you, Ms. Clemens and Ms. Shelton.
Thank you and welcome, Commissioner Good.
Yay!
Glad to have you.
I know, we're a little stiff. We're all new here. We'll get it together by item 10. Item number 5. This takes item number 5 in Council District 1, 7, 8, 11, 13, and 14. Contract acceptance, Highway Safety Improvement Program Cycle 4-rebid, Federal Project NOS SHIPL 5006-771, SHIPL 5006-770, and HSIPL 5006-703. Recommending the board, 1, to accept this contract. Our representative today is Bert McReynolds. Mr. McReynolds, please tell us what is going on here today.
Thank you, Commissioners. Brett McReynolds, Bureau of Contract Administration. This item is for an acceptance of what's known as RRFBs, Rectangular Rapid Flashing Beacons and Speed Feedback Signs. This is a project that was done in the council districts, as you mentioned, numerous council districts. It was awarded by your board March 29th, 2017. The authorized budget with contingency is $1,023,357.50. The contract installed these flashing beacons and speed feedback signs throughout the council districts mentioned, in addition to traffic striping and some ADA access ramps. 31 change orders were issued, bringing the total cost of the project to $1,175,758.25. Please note that in November 29, 2017, your board authorized increasing the project budget to $1,275,555.60. The project was completed 26.38% above the original award amount and 7.82% below its authorized budget. Added work included complete traffic signalization of Temple and Patton Streets and also traffic striping and access ramps. The contract is federally funded and subject to the city's DBE program. The contractor did comply with all EEO and labor compliance requirements, and work was completed October 25th, 2018, with a final release of disputed funds that took place on January 15th, 2019, upon our receiving all of the contractor's final labor required documents. There are no unresolved property complaints or disputed funds, so we're requesting acceptance at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Basically, this construction has been done, right? This is completed. We are just closing up this contract.
Yes, it's a series of work orders under a contract, and yes, that's all the work has been done, and we're just accepting and closing the contract.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions, commissioners? I don't see none here in the queue. What about Commissioner Calosa?
No questions for me, thank you.
Commissioner Davis?
No, I have no questions. I'm fine.
Commissioner Villegas?
No questions.
Hearing no questions, is there a second to my motion to adopt item number 5?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Calosa. Second by Commissioner Calosa.
And I think Commissioner Davis, too.
And Villegas. All right, we got two.
No, Davis.
Davis.
Right,
Sorry, Davis.
So we have a motion by Garcia, a second by Calosa and Davis?
Yes.
And Davis, okay.
And good is good.
Okay. Thank you.
Any
Thank you very
objections,
much.
Commissioner Villegas? No, I'm sorry. Who seconded me? Calosa and Davis, right?
Calosa and Davis, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Any objections, Villegas?
You're on mute, Commissioner Villegas. There you go.
Sorry.
No objections? I hear none. No objections in the room either. Hearing none, this item is approved and will be sent forthwith as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Have a good rest of the afternoon. Item number 6. Item number 6 in all council district. This is an item with Bureau of Sanitation and Bureau of Contract Administration. This item is to contract an award on-site truck wash Inc. and Master Wash Inc. mobile fleet washing services. Recommending the board to 1, approve and forward this report with transmittals forthwith to the mayor and city council with the request that the Board of Public Works be authorized to execute personal service contracts for mobile fleet washing services with on-site truck wash Inc. and Master Wash Inc. for a term of 5 years plus 1 5-year renewal option. 2, upon the mayor's and council's authorization, the president or 2 members of the board will execute the contracts. And 3, return the executed contracts to the Bureau of Sanitation for further processing. Today's representative is Jonathan Sari. Mr. Sari?
Yes, good morning, Vice President Garcia, commissioners, Bureau representatives, City Attorney, and Executive Secretary. LA-SAN operates a fleet of more than 700 heavy-duty vehicles for the collection of refuse, yard trimmings, recyclables, horse manure, dead animals, bulky items, and other special waste from approximately 750,000 households citywide. These vehicles must be maintained in clean condition to prevent the propagation or attraction of flies, rodents, and other vectors. LA-SAN operates an automated vehicle wash facilities at 3 of its solid resources collection yards, namely East Valley Yard, West Valley, and South Los Angeles yards. Collection vehicles at the North Central, West Los Angeles, Harbor, and Washington yards are manually washed on-site by a mobile fleet washing contractor, since there are no automated washing facilities at these locations. This contractor also provides backup washing services at yards operating with automated washing facilities when they are out of service. Currently, LA-SAN has a letter of agreement with on-site for mobile fleet washing services that actually expired June 30th of this year. On September of 2018, the board authorized LA-SAN to distribute an RFQ or request for qualifications to establish an on-call list of contractors for mobile fleet washing. The proposed on-call list will replace the existing contract and will provide a pool of contractors who are qualified to perform a mobile fleet washing services. So the RFQ was released on LA Bobbin on October 2018, and we received 6 proposers. Out of these 6 proposals, based on our evaluation, 3 of them qualified, and we started negotiation with the 3 contractors. Out of the 3, one of the contractor sent us an email basically telling us they could not compete with the other 2 contractors, so they basically bowed out of the negotiation. So we are left basically with 2 contractors on site and also Master Wash Incorporated. And basically we divided up the washing to these 2 contractors. Basically on site will be washing West LA Yard, Washington Yard, and basically in the MWI or Master Wash Inc. will be washing North Central Yard and Harbor Yard. We are basically, again, coming to you to recommend that we approve these 2 contractors to perform these essential services. And also, LA-SAN reserves the right to reallocate work between either on-site or MWI, or delegate additional work to either on-site or MWI, depending on job performance or future business decisions by other vendors. This concludes my report, and I will take questions at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Sari. I'll check if we have any questions. We have questions from here in the room. Commissioner Greg Good.
Thank you, Mr. Sari. I appreciate it. And I know this is, I'm coming late in the game in this, but I just would love to ask, what was the basis of the decision to make this contract essentially 2 5-year terms?
Basically, this contract, the previous contract that expired in 2019 had a 5-year contract term plus a one renewal term for 3 years, so a total of 8 years. Providing a 5-year plus 5 plus 5 basically would be attractive to our local vendors and encouraging more to participate in the RFQ process, which we did. We received more proposals this time around, and a 10-year contract would also benefit LA San for having a contract in place to provide this essential service for an extended period of time at a very competitive price.
Okay. Thank you. I may have a further question, but I'll pause for a moment.
Any other questions? Commissioner Davis.
Yes, thank you. I'm first of all glad that we were able to use BAVN as a tool in which to do outreach to potential vendors to request their services for this work. What I want to know is, in terms of the two that we finally selected, could you tell me a little bit about those two companies in terms of the size of the company, if in fact they are from the Los Angeles area, and as well as if in fact they are a disadvantaged women-owned business, any of those variables?
In terms of the local business enterprise, none of these two qualified. Although we did a negotiation with the third one, he was the only one that was qualified as an LBE. But unfortunately, they fell out of the negotiation because they could not compete with the other two. In terms of the either their business-owned, or women-owned, or others, I don't have that information right now, and I can report back to you in the near future regarding these questions of yours.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Any questions, Commissioner Calosa?
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. I have two just quick follow-up questions, and thank you to LA San for briefing me on this item. There's two that I thought of while you were doing today's presentation. One relates to the cost. Can you remind me how much is the cost per car wash for this contract?
The cost for this car wash per wash is $12 a truck.
Got it. And is this comparable to what we paid in the last contract, or what does that look like?
It is $1.01 more than we paid in the last contract. It was $10.99 in the last contract, and that stayed the same for 8 years. And this time around, I guess because of inflation, we were able to negotiate at least at $12, and this will be in place for the next 10 years, providing with a CPI increase to a max of 3% per year. And hopefully that we don't have to apply that.
Got it. And the services that, the frequency in which we're washing these cars, are we altering that at all based off of COVID-19? I know cleaning our trucks, they're bulky. You use them every week. And so I was just curious if there's any changes at all to the frequency as we look at, sanitation practices all around the city as it relates to COVID.
At this time, based on the budgeting, basically we still are washing the trucks once every 2 weeks, and we project that again for the next 10 years. And in terms of with the COVID this time around, if there's a need to do that, to make it more frequent, we do have a contingency in our budget, cost ceiling, So we will be able to basically wash more trucks as needed.
I see. And so I'm not sure if there's any public health orders or any guidance from the CDC about truck washing and, keeping things sanitized for large equipment like this. But if I could just make a recommendation for you, Mr. Zari, to look into that just to make sure that we're keeping our practices lined up with anything that may be recommended by our public health officials.
Yes, we will research this and we'll report back to you on this particular question.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I don't have any further questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Calosa. Any questions, Commissioner Villegas?
I am good, thank you.
Okay, and I believe we have more questions. Commissioner Good?
Yeah, again, thank you, Mr. Sari. Sorry to cause trouble here, but in light of the length of the contract and to Commissioner Calosa's point, the sort of complexities that we're not even necessarily aware of around protocols and standards, I would ask or motion, if I can, that at the culmination of the 5-year term, that sanitation report back as a preface to granting the 5-year extension.
Got it. Would that be an amendment, right, Dr. Campos?
That is correct, yes.
That would be an amendment to report back after the 5-year contract before we determine another 5 years. Is that what you want to say?
Yes,
Perfect.
Ms. Garcia.
Okay.
And thank you again, Mr. Sari.
Sorry, Mr.
Thank
Sari, were you able to capture that? So
Yes, we'll do.
Okay, good. So in 5 years, we'll see you again, right?
Yes.
So the motion is as amended to approve or to adopt the report and refer the item to the mayor and city council forthwith. And the amendment is to instruct the Los Angeles Sanitation Department, or LASAN, to report back to the Board of Public Works prior to exercising the first renewal option.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is that a motion, Commissioner Good? Yes. Commission, this is motion to amend, and I second that.
I'll second too.
Second by Commissioner Calosa as well. Any objections, Commissioner Davis?
None.
Commissioner Villegas?
No objections.
Hearing no objections, this item is now approved and will be moved forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Sari.
Thank you.
Have a good day. See you in 5 years.
Will do.
All right, this takes us to item number 7. This item is from Bureau of Engineering and Bureau of Street Services. Item number 7 is in Council District 3, street closure, Hart Street and Baird Avenue, Sherman Way streetscape improvements, Wilbur Avenue and to Lindley Avenue project. Let me read that again. I feel like I didn't read it right. Street closure, Hart Street and Baird Avenue, Sherman Way streetscape improvements, Wilbur Avenue to Lindley Avenue project. Recommending the board to 1, authorize full closure at the intersection of Hart Street and Baird Avenue from August 1st, 2020 to October 15, 2020 for the construction of the Sherman Way streetscapes improvements, Wilbur Avenue to Lindley Avenue project. Mr. Steve Chen is here today to explain to us why are we closing the streets. Thank you. Mr. Chen? He's on mute. I think you're on mute, Mr. Chen. Unmute. There we go.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, good morning, commissioners, and welcome, Commissioner Good, to your first meeting. Here to request authorization for closure of Hart Street and Baird Avenue. This is part of the Sherman Way Streetscape project. Sherman Way is one of the mayor's great streets, and this project consists of improvements along Sherman Way, about a 1-mile section along Sherman Way, as well as Hart Street, which is about 2 blocks south of Sherman Way. And the improvements include improvements for pedestrian and traffic facilities, curb ramp repairs, installation of a median, and restriping street lanes. This basically is to make it safer, primarily for pedestrians and bicyclists. And one element of this project is to add a roundabout at the intersection of Hart Street and Barrett Avenue. This is basically to, again, improve safety for vehicles passing through that intersection. This is actually a very low traffic intersection. It's in a residential area. So this closure that we're requesting for 2.5 months, that should have very little impact to the traffic, to the residents in the area. There aren't any businesses right adjacent to that location. So we're requesting a closure for 2.5 months. We expect the work to take only about maybe probably 6 weeks, but we're just putting a little buffer there just in case anything unexpected occurs. So we requested this closure for that period of time. We will be notifying the adjacent residents as the actual date approaches, so they'll be aware of this closure. And we've also have been working with DOT to provide a detour plan, which really, again, isn't going to be too significant. It's just avoiding that intersection during this period. So with that, I can take any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. I have a question. The community and the residents around this area have been notified already?
No, because we don't. We will notify them when the date actually approaches closer to the actual date. So we don't want to give them, false date of when actually it's going to occur. And plus, we have to get approval for this closure as well.
Okay, so now you'll have about 2 to maybe 3 weeks to make sure that they know that this will happen in their community. Perfect.
Right, and we'll have to work with the contractor to actually come up with a more specific time, based on their current work. This construction on the project has already started, so they've been working on other parts of the project, and so we have to work out this exact schedule as to when we think they would actually be at that location, and we would definitely, give them as much warning as we can, but we want to give them as much accurate information as well.
I appreciate that. Also, can I make a recommendation? I see the letter here in English, and I'm sure you've thought of this. Is there a way that we can also get some translation? So for those folks that do not speak English, maybe Spanish, or
Definitely,
any other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we definitely will do that. I'll make sure that happens. We may already have one, but let me follow up with that to make sure we have another one in Spanish.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chen. And we're going to go with questions. Any commissioners, any questions?
Yes, I have some.
Sure, Dr. Davis?
Yes, I'd like to find out in terms of our contact and communication with the local council offices for this area. I don't know if it overlaps 2 different council districts or if it's just one council office involved in this great street.
Well, the actual closure is in CD3. I believe the entire project is in CD3.
Got it. And of course, you're in contact with them, and they're supportive of what we're doing. Good. Well, I'm glad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I was going to say they definitely support the closure to facilitate the construction.
Great. Well, I'm glad to see that we're making considerable progress on the mayor's Great Street programs. I think this has citywide impact as you continue to make progress in various areas, and certainly in this one. And in particular, on this particular project, I think the roundabouts are really great and add value to flowing traffic in those areas. So I'm very glad to see that we're doing some of those. As I travel throughout the country, quite frankly, I see roundabouts being used in transportation. So thank you for that work.
Thank you, Dr. Davis.
It's a little more common now. We're trying to implement that here as well.
Yes, great.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Any other questions? Commissioner Villegas?
I'm good, thank you.
Commissioner Calosa?
No questions, thank you.
Got it. And we don't have any questions here in the room. Is there a second to my motion to adopt item number 7?
Second.
Oh, yay. Second by Commissioner Good, Villegas, and Calosa. Any objections, Commissioner Dr. Davis?
None at all. Support.
Hearing none, this item has been approved and will be.
So just one clarification, Vice President. Commissioner Davis actually seconded, not me.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Davis. There's a correction there for Dr. Campos. Commissioner Davis, not Commissioner Calosa. Any objections, Commissioner Calosa?
No objections, thank you.
Got it. Hearing none, this item is now approved and will be moved forthwith. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chan. Have a good rest of the day.
Have the next item too.
You too. All right, this is item number 8. This is a BOE item, a Bureau of Engineering item. This item is in all council districts. This is a task order solicitation number 111 for SOMAS for a pre-qualified on-call consultants list. Recommending the board to 1, approve revising the funding for task order number 111 to reflect that the funding is provided from fund number 655, department number 94, and appropriation unit number 94RT00. Our representative today is also Steve Chan, so I take that back. I'll wish you a good rest of the day after this one.
Thank you.
Mr. Chan, please tell us what we are doing here today.
Yes, good morning. Again, so this is basically, as the item suggests, is that basically what happened is that for this project, it's a pedestrian bicycle neighborhood intersection enhancement project, and there was some confusion with the title of the project when it was originally approved. And so the motion here is just to request a correction to a clerical error. We want to correct the fact that the original report indicated that funding information was appropriation unit 94LT13 when it should have been 94RT 00. So we wanted to correct that, and this is the motion to make that correction to make the board report accurate.
Mr. Chen, so this is just a change?
It's just a correction to a clerical error that was in the original board report when we got this project awarded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This task order, sorry, yeah.
Got it. Any questions, commissioners?
None.
None from Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Calosa, any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Villegas?
Just maybe a suggestion in next time, in the event that we do have some error like this take place, if you can include it as an attachment, the original motion, so that we can see the two different attachments and see the mistake, that would be helpful.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Villegas, for that.
Do you mean the board report or the original board report?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you, Ms. Commissioner Villegas. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll move forward this. I'll put the motion in for this one. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Calosa. Any objections, Commissioner Davis?
None for me.
Any objections, Commissioner Villegas?
No objections.
And I don't see anything from the queue, so no objections. Hearing none, this item is now approved and will move forthwith. That was a motion by me and second by Commissioner Calosa. Got it. Thank you. Then now, Mr. Chen, you can have a good rest of the day, unless I have you for another one.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Bye.
you. Item number 9. Item number 9 is an authority for expenditures in all council district. This is from our Bureau of Sanitation, Ellie Sand. This is an AFE for Service Employees International Union, SEIU Local 721. The Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution for an authority for expenditure in the amount of $89,001.60 to reimburse SEIU Local 721 for the procurement of personal protective equipment vital to protecting the health and safety of Bureau of Sanitation employees. Authorize the President or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the letter of agreement. Dr. Campos, do I have to say all those numbers? I'll say them.
We do list the numbers on the agenda. There was a request by one of the prior commissioners to provide the AE number, the fund number, and the explanation of what that fund number is. It is listed on the agenda. You do not have to, but for those members that would like to hear what fund number 760 is,
I
you
will
may
do
want
it
to.
for those that want to hear the fund number. AE 207-608-894M, fund number 760, Sewer Construction and Maintenance Fund, Department number 50, Appropriation Unit 50SX82. Today, our representatives, Annie Marie Yameson. Ms. Yameson?
Good morning, Commissioners, Ms. Openstead and Executive Officer Campos. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I am Anne-Marie Yamzon from LA Sanitation and Environment. In late March and early April, when the COVID-19 pandemic first broke out, personal protective equipment were scarce and extremely hard to procure. We were in dire need of acquiring some in order to continue our operations and to provide our essential services. SEIU Local 721 approached us and said that they would be able to procure some for us, and we agreed, and we are seeking your approval now for this AFE and to execute the letter of agreement in order for us to reimburse them for their purchase on our behalf. Basically, that's it. I am happy to answer questions.
Thank you, Ms. Yameson. Completely understand the situation we were in March. Any questions from our commissioners?
Yeah, I wanted to know, Madam President, in terms of the areas of work, were these for our workers who worked on the sanitation division? And
yes, it was for all of LASAN employees.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions? Commissioner Good has a question.
Less question, more comment. I just, having had the, I guess benefit would be the wrong word, but the experience of having been in the middle of that, in the mayor's office at the very beginning of what is a still evolving or devolving existential crisis that this city and this country and this world are mired in. I think it merits comment that the good men and women of SEIU 721, the good women and men of the Bureau of Sanitation came together in a spirit of communality that is both merits recognition, our quick and fastidious action, and should be recognized as what we're going to need moving forward, at least that spirit. So I think we should really thank 721 as well as sanitation for frankly stepping up to the plate to protect our frontline workers. It's great work.
Thank you, Commissioner Good. I ditto those sentiments as well. Thank you to SEI Local 721 for coming to help our employees at Bureau of Sanitation. Any questions, Commissioner Villegas?
No, I was going to mention that too. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Commissioner Calosa?
Yeah, I do have some questions. Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Thank you for presenting Ms. Yamzon, and I definitely agree with the sentiments of my colleagues. And I just wanted to, one comment and then a question. I know that the mayor's announcements for acquiring the N95 masks were at the end of May, if I remember correctly. And it looks like when you guys partnered and worked together to acquire these masks, we're a little bit shortly before we had secured that partnership. So I guess just wanted to ask, how long will this supply last for LA Sanitation is one question. Do you want to answer that first, and then I can go through a few of my other ones?
Well, we have procured items also through the EOC, in addition to what was received from SEIU and from other vendors as well. We are keeping track of our usage and our burn rates, but I'm sorry I don't have that information right now with me. SEIU provided us 10,000 masks and 344 cases of gloves.
And can you just confirm how much did we pay per mask?
It's $4 per mask.
Okay. Yeah, and I definitely, understand the immediate need of when this happened in the beginning, but think that the recent contract that we acquired with Honeywell is really a good route to acquire the mass. I believe, if I remember correctly, the mayor was able to negotiate them for 79 cents a mass, which is significantly cheaper than the $4 from this original contract. But understand again the need during that time. And so just wanted to make that comment, but it sounds like you guys are already on it. So I don't have any other questions, but thanks for presenting, Ms. Yanzan. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Calosa. Any other questions, commissioners? Hearing none, is there a second to my motion to approve item number 9?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Good and Commissioner Villegas. Thank you for that. Any objections, Commissioner Davis?
None.
Commissioner Calosa, any objections?
No objections, thank you.
Hearing none, this item will be approved. However, I need to check in with Dr. Campos. Is this something that needs to go to mayoral approval?
Good question, Vice President Garcia, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. This item is not subject to the mayor's office. On June 26th, or June 24th, I believe June 24th or 26th, the mayor released a new memo called the Cost Containment Memo that removed or replaced the old prior belt-tightening memo. That new cost containment memo did allow departments to move forward with authority for expenditures that are under or less than $100,000. So therefore, because of the dollar amount at $89,000, this is below the threshold and no longer subject to the mayor's approval.
Perfect. Thank you for that clarification. Having said that, this item will move and is approved to go forthwith. Okay. This takes us to item number 10. Item number 10 is from the Bureau of Sanitation. It is an authority for expenditure in all council districts. This is an AFE for the Water Research Foundation. The Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution for an authority for expenditure in the amount of $108,360 for subscriptions due for the period of November 1st, 2019 to October 31st, 2020. This AE 207-60831M, Fund Number 760, Sewer Operations and Maintenance Fund, Department Number 50, Appropriation Unit 50SX82. Today's representative is Hai Sang Kim. Mr. Kim.
Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioners. Again, my name is Hee Sang Kim of Sanitation. I am here to request your approval for the payment of $108,360 to the Water Research Foundation for the annual subscription. The Water Research Foundation, also known as WRF, is a non-profit research foundation whose goal is to fund applied research projects important to water utilities in the areas of wastewater, water recycling, stormwater management, biosolids, as well as drinking water. WRF is supported by over 1,200 utilities, consultants, and manufacturers from this country and internationally. Locally, the subscribers include, in addition to Los Angeles Sanitation, LA DWP, LA County Sanitation District, LA County Department of Public Works, and Orange County Sanitation Districts, and many more. The research reports funded by WRF are only available to the subscribers. Water Research Foundation supports a research library with more than 2,300 completed projects valued at over $700 million. The library is, again, only open to the subscribers, which LA San has been a member for over 20 years. Water Research Foundation brings together research studies done by leading utilities and greatest researchers and makes them available to the subscribers. As we all know, research is very expensive and very time consuming and requires expertise that LA sanitation alone cannot afford. It is a great value for the ratepayers of the city to use this system. To name some studies that LA San benefited recently include energy optimization at treatment plants, in-depth study on water recycling processes, and various studies on biosolids management. The subscription fee is based on the daily flow of LA San. Los Angeles, being the second largest city in the country, we would have to pay the maximum of $150,000 per year. However, we negotiated with the agency for a much lower fee. That concludes my presentation. I can take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kim, for that report. Any questions, commissioners? I don't see none in the queue here. Question by Commissioner Davis.
Yeah, I just want to say that I realize the importance of this expenditure, and it has been made plain that over time we have benefited greatly from the research that we've been able to ascertain and get from this facility, from this research foundation. So I strongly support these fees, understanding how valuable that information has been to our success.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Any questions, Commissioner Villegas?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Calosa?
No questions, thank you.
Hearing no questions. However, Dr. Campos, given what you just stated, just the item right before this, because of the 8,000 over the 100,000, this is subject to mayoral approval, right?
Absolutely. This would be recommended to be approved as amended, subject to the mayor's approval, due to the cost containment memo.
Well, is there a second to my motion to approve item number 10 as amended, subject to mayor's approval per cost containment memo?
Second.
Second by Dr. Davis. Any objections? No objections in the room. Any objections, Commissioner Calosa?
No objections, thank you.
Any objections, Commissioner Villegas?
No objections.
Hearing none, this item is approved and will be sent forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
We are now in item 11. This item 11 is with Bureau of Sanitation. Item 11 is also an AFE, is an authority for expenditure in all council districts. This is for the Southern California Coastal Water Research Project. The Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of the authority for expenditure in the amount of $228,400 for the Los Angeles River in-stream flow study service period from July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. This AE is AE 207-608-98M, Fund Number 760, Sewer Operations and Maintenance Fund, Department 50, Appropriation Unit 50SX82. Our representative today is Stephen Nikaido. Mr. Nikaido?
Good morning, everyone. This is Steve Nikaido with LA Sanitation Environment. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Always want to do that mic check. So, thank you and good morning. As noted, we are asking the board's approval of this authority for expenditure, which would allow us to encumber funds in the amount of $228,400 for the purposes of paying for the Los Angeles River in-stream flow study being conducted by the Southern California Coastal Water Research Project, otherwise known as SQUIRP. This is actually the second time we've come to the board It's a 2-year study, and we had come to the board last June 2019 for this first installment in the same amount, and we had reported at that time that we would come back to you in 2020 for the second installment, and that is what I'm doing here today. So to give some background, as I noted, the study is for 2 years. The participating funding members include sanitation, the Department of Water and Power, LA County Department of Public Works, LA County Sanitation Districts, the State Water Resources Control Board, and the LA Regional Water Quality Control Board. The total study amounts to approximately $2.8 million. LA San and Water and Power are paying a little bit more than County Public Works and County Sanitation. They are at $200,000 and $50,000 each. The reason for this is that it was agreed at the time of setting up the study that it had more impact and relevance for sanitation and water, and because of our discharges for our wastewater treatment plants to the LA River and to Water and Power because of the issue which is concerning water recycling. So stakeholders, as noted, would include the State Water Board, LA Regional Water Board, also the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, as well as city and LA County agencies and environmental advocacy groups who are interested in the uses of the river. So the reason they're doing the study is actually the study is being contracted by the State Water Board to SCORP, and the study came about a few years ago. It was prompted first because of what are known as 1211 petitions filed by City of Burbank and City of Glendale. Those petitions were the intent of notifying the board and getting the State Water Board and getting their permission to reduce the amount of water they would discharge from their treatment plants that would otherwise go to the LA River for the purposes for their recycling efforts. As you know, the LA River is largely impacted by or filled by flows from the wastewater treatment plants during times of dry weather. So the city supports recycled water, and as you know, we are working towards going into 100% recycling at our Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant ourselves. However, reduced stream flows can be detrimental to habitat, wildlife, fishing, kayaking, and other beneficial uses. So the question became, what flows are necessary in the LA River in order to protect those beneficial uses? And through a series of workshops held by the State Water Board with state, local, regional agencies, and stakeholders, it was recognized that we needed to develop a better understanding of how water conservation, water recycling, stormwater capture, river revitalization, and groundwater replenishment could impact the LA River, and that there was a need for a comprehensive science-informed approach to assess the flow needs to the LA River. And as I mentioned earlier, the State Water Board selected SCORP to conduct this study. And SCORP, just to put to explain a little bit about SCORP, they are a nonprofit. They're a governmental agency. They have extensive experience providing and managing specialized and expert scientific research, analysis, and advanced conceptual modeling, which is needed for a study such as this. They're going to bring their analysis, opinions, and regional perspective to the study, also as an independent third party, which is important since we have the different stakeholders involved. As such, SCORP is uniquely capable and qualified to perform the specialized analysis required for the LA River in-stream flow study. And they are in the process of getting towards the end of the study at this point. The expected end date for the completion of the study for the final reports is towards the end of the third quarter of this fiscal year, or this calendar year. So the city is going to benefit from the study in the sense that it will inform decisions at the state level as far as water recycling projects. LA Sanitation will be proceeding soon with its own 1211 petition for the Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant to reduce the flow discharges from that plant into the LA River. And so the study will benefit the state water board's decisions on the different flows regimes required in this river to protect the beneficial uses. The study itself has two overarching goals, just to summarize. It's to develop technical tools that quantify the relationship between different flow conditions and how the beneficial uses are achieved, and then work with the affected parties in using these tools to provide information and solicit their input about appropriate flow needs in the LA River. So the ultimate outcome is to provide technically sound recommendations and alternatives to the state and regional boards for their consideration and implementation of flow objectives for the LA River. So I know that was kind of a lot to digest. That's my shotgun summary of the study. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Nikaido. I have a question. Is this a one-time cost, or will this be a cost that'll be reoccurring twice a year?
No, it's a 2-year study, and we're paying it essentially in 2 installments. And so the first installment was last year, and this is our second installment.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions, commissioners?
Yeah, let me ask. You have had some feedback from this institution already in terms of, or this consultant, in terms of some of the findings that they have discovered in researching our situation with the LA River. Have they begun any work so far?
Yes. As I mentioned, they're in the latter parts of the study. It gets very technical. We do have staff from sanitation who are participating as part of the technical advisory committee. They're more informed. I know that basically what they've done is, SPORT has done is collect a lot of data as far as water quality and worked with in developing models and identifying the species that they would use for these models in terms of habitat and wildlife.
Have you experienced their findings to be beneficial in the way in which we are practicing the work that we are doing in the river area?
Yes, but ultimately we'll find out, when they wrap up their study and all the results are pulled together in the final report. I don't have access to the technical reports myself, and honestly, I don't have the expertise to assess those. But I know that our team from sanitation who is involved with the study feels that it's proceeding, and that the findings, will be confident with the findings that will benefit all the not just sanitation, but the other interested parties for the LA River.
Great, that's what I was looking for. So our team feels very comfortable thus far with the findings that we have been able to gather from the work done so far. So I think that's important. The level of satisfaction with their work is always something that we look for. So I appreciate this report, and I value the research design in terms of what they want to do that will make us more environmentally prudent in the ways in which we are trying to improve the river. So I think that this is an important expenditure because their research is critically important for us to be able to satisfy those goals that are expected of us in terms of when we do our work. The environmental community expects us to do it in a way that does not dislocate or disrupt habitat. So thank you for this report.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Any other questions? Commissioner Calosa?
No questions for me, thank you.
Any questions, Commissioner Villegas?
Yes, just a clarification. I appreciated the report. I was wondering if Burbank or Glendale, are they participating in this study?
Not sure about Glendale. I know Burbank was invited to participate at the outset. They declined. And to my knowledge, they have not participated since that invitation. But that's my best educated understanding of the situation as far as they're not participating in the study.
Commissioner Villegas, this is Adina Hopenstam speaking. I have some information on this topic. I believe that both Burbank and Glendale provided what they characterize as in-kind assistance with the results of the environmental studies that they did relating to each of their 1211 petitions, but otherwise have not contributed monetarily that I would agree with.
Thank you for that clarification. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, I was just saying if we were going to have any kind of beneficial uses for Glendale or Burbank, I'm glad that they've at least participated in a, at least advising or giving, input. If indeed they will get any kind of benefits from this, if, how would they be able to contribute? I guess we're beyond that point now, but would have been good if that would have been negotiated, since they would have been a beneficiary user from this, seeing that they have a discharge into the LA River. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Commissioner Villegas, is that a motion from you?
I will move. Yeah, thank you.
I will second Commissioner Villegas' motion. Also, Commissioner Davis, second. Dr. Campos, this is also an item that needs to be approved by the mayor's office?
That is the recommendation, yes.
Okay. So it's approved, item number 11 as amended, subject to mayor's approval per cost containment memo. Any objections? I don't see any in the room. Any objections? Commissioner Calosa?
No objections, thank you.
Hearing no objections, this item is now approved and will be moved forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Nikaido. Mr. Nikaido, thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, you as well.
And this takes us to item number 12. Item number 12 is our last authority expenditure in all city council districts. This is a stop payment notice, Morro Meadows Corporation. Morro Meadows Corporation is transmitting a stop payment notice in the amount of $2,606,902 for furnishing electrical work in connection with the Los Angeles Wastewater Control System Replacement Project. The primary contractor for this project is Honeywell International, Inc. We do not have a presenter for this one. Is there any questions, commissioners, on this one? Or any comments that you want to say? Other than that, is there a second to my motion to receive item number 12?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Davis. Any objections? Commissioner Calosa?
No objections.
Commissioner Villegas?
No objections, thanks.
Seeing none in the queue either, this item is now approved and will move forthwith. We are in our last and final item. This last item on the agenda is a special election. As many of you know, we had our president, Kevin James, who had been our president for the past 7 consecutive years, stepped down about a week and a half ago. We are now coming back from the recess that we had last week, and so therefore there is a vacant seat for the president at this time. Dr. Campos, can we exchange seats to make sure that the special elections go and flow as they're supposed to?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. This change-a-roo in seats only occurs once or twice a year on a rare occasion. But item number 13 on today's special agenda is the special election of the President of the Board of Public Works. As required by the City Charter and pursuant to the Board Rules of the City of Los Angeles Board of Public Works, Chapter 6, Election and Appointment of Officers, Board Rule number 29 and also Board Rule number 30, the Board shall annually elect one of its members as President and Vice President, respectively, by a majority vote by open ballot at the last meeting in July. Officers are appointed from the period of August 1st through July 31st. As Vice President Garcia indicated, on July 4th, 2020, the former President, Commissioner James, vacated his position as board member of the Board of Public Works, and concurrently, the elected officer designation as President of the Board of Public Works became vacant as well. Subsequently, on July 5th, 2020, newly appointed Commissioner Greg Good joined the Board of Public Works. Therefore, based on these recent changes, an elected officer position of President is vacant, and requires a special election and appointment of this officer position for the remaining term, which would end on July 31st, 2020. The annual election of officers will take place on July 31st, 2020, in the next few weeks. At this time, Commissioners, are there any nominations for the position, the vacated position of President of the Board of Public Works?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a nomination.
Commissioner Davis?
Thank you. It is my honor to recommend for the office of President of the Los Angeles Board of Public Works, a man who in many ways needs no introduction in City Hall. You know him, he's a proud father and obviously husband, but more importantly, he equally has been very involved in helping to make things happen in City Hall. I want to nominate Greg Good. He has strong academic and legal background. Also, he has a dynamic and diverse work experience, both in government as well as nonprofit sectors. In addition to the fact that he has had experience in entertainment, in film and television. When we look at Greg's record, in addition to the work that he has done outside of government, within government, he has worked specifically in city government in the executive office as Chief of Legislative and External Affairs for Mayor Eric Garcetti. He oversaw the regional legislative agenda and city council, regional cities, and Los Angeles Unified School District relations, as well as he was involved in public engagement and oversaw the Office of Immigrant Affairs and Volunteer LA and the Civil and Human Rights Department. Previously, Greg also had the role of executive officer for Mayor Eric Garcetti's Office of City Services, as well as he was the mayor's director of infrastructure. And in that role, of course, he worked with us in the Board of Public Works and specifically helped to really help implement our, from an administrative perspective, our citywide franchise. I think what's also equally important is that prior to joining the mayor's office, Greg spent 7 years with Lane, and most recently, he served as director of their Don't Waste Los Angeles project. And before that, he served as Lane's director of campaign communication. So I think that his academic experience of being a graduate of Brown University, and of course of that other school across town, of course you always know that I'm from USC, but I am sad to report that Greg is a graduate of UCLA Law School. And so that legal experience, we all know, will be very valuable in terms of the leadership and the work that we have to do in the Board of Public Works with the various 5 agencies for which we have responsibility. So, ladies and gentlemen, members, colleagues, all of those who are listening from the Board of Public Works, with all of the great men and women who provide services improving the infrastructure of our great city, I can't think of a better person that is best prepared to take on the leadership to implement effectively and to do it in a way with pride and skill, to take the leadership of the Board of Public Works other than Mr. Greg Good.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Dr. Davis. Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, Commissioners, is there a second to Commissioner Davis's motion to nominate Commissioner Greg Good as President of the Board of Public Works?
I second that motion.
Second by Commissioner Garcia.
I second as well.
Second by Commissioner Caloza, and also joined by Commissioner Villegas. Commissioner Garcia?
I want to add ditto what my colleague Davis just said. Given the 20-year experience in and out of City Hall and your law degree from that school that we're not going to talk, we'll give you a pass. How's that? We'll give you a pass this time. There's 3 of us, USC. I don't know what you're going to do, Greg. Given that you have your law degree, I believe this makes you the perfect candidate to the position of President of Board of Public Works. Thank you. Welcome.
Commissioner Caloza?
Yes.
Any additional comments on your second motion, on your motion?
I just echo what the Vice President and President Pro Tem said, that Greg has such deep knowledge of City Hall and has a deep knowledge of working with all of our bureaus already, that he puts us in a really great place to, continue the great leadership and legacy that was left by our recent president, Kevin James. And so, really excited to have you part of the Public Works family again, Greg, and just look forward to benefiting from your expertise here at City Hall. So thank you in advance for all the work and leadership that you're going to provide to the team.
Exactly.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Caloza. Commissioner Villegas, you also seconded that motion.
I did, thank you. Yes, and I look forward to working with Mr. Greg Good. I see your father is in our Zoom audience, so awesome to have parents also participate, or family members. I look forward to working with you and just hearing so many great things from you in City Hall and also learning from you. So thank you.
Thank you,
I want to make also recognition that Commissioner, soon to be President, Greg Good, mom is also in attendance. I love the parent support.
I didn't see that. Thank you.
Great. We do have a motion by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Garcia, Caloza, and Villegas. Is there any other further discussion or deliberation on the matter? Hearing no further discussions, all those in favor, please state aye. Actually, I'm going to, since some of you are virtual, I'm going to go one by one, if that's okay.
Yeah,
Commissioner Davis, any
Aye.
opposition? Aye. Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Caloza,
Aye.
Commissioner Villegas,
Aye.
and Commissioner Good.
Yay.
Yes. Hearing, great, this motion is carried and passed. Congratulations to our new president of the Board of Public Works, Commissioner President Greg Good.
Yay.
It's my privilege to return the chair back to our newly elected president and chair, President Good of the Board of Public Works. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
And it also comes with the gavel.
You're welcome to use it anytime. Not on us, though.
I would shake hands with you, Fernando, and Madam Vice President, but of course we can't.
I know. But I could take you a picture.
Thank you so much. Hi. I'm unusually speechless, though not for long. I would. It is. Well, first, I have to thank my colleagues and Fernando. Pro Tem Davis, we've worked together for years now, and it is a particular honor for you to introduce this motion. I really appreciate it. And Vice President Garcia, you are just a model of humility and excellence in everything you've done since the day you started here in the mayor's office before. Same with Commissioner Caloza, who I also had the opportunity to work with on the mayor's senior staff, and we sat in hours of meetings, and no one ever was more prepared than Jessica Caloza, always. And then Commissioner Villegas, who I've had the least amount of time to work with, but from the day I met you, both your reputation and your presence has spoken of the professionalism that everyone talks about with you. You're an absolute pro in everything you do, and I really, really appreciate the confidence that you all are, essentially affording me by making me your president. I would also say Dr. Campos, who I recall when you were first starting as executive officer and talking to President James and others, and it was all very clear that you were the man for this post. So I appreciate your confidence and also your generosity in helping to shepherd me through the process with the board here, and I very much look forward to working with you as well, and all
Absolutely.
of you.
You're welcome.
I also have to say a few other thank yous. as a starting point, clearly, Mayor Eric Garcetti and his just stalwart Chief of Staff, Ana Guerrero, for their confidence in appointing me to the Board of Public Works in the first place. It's an incredible honor, and it has been an honor to work in this administration, or the Garcetti administration, for 7 years now. It has been an extraordinary journey, one I am grateful for, one I will forever learn from, and one that will have impacted me, will impact the rest of my career and life, not to mention my family's, for that matter. I want to also thank mi comadre, Vice President, smack me if I just butchered that, but Barbara Romero, Deputy Mayor Barbara Romero of City Services. Some of you know, Barbara started off as a Board of Public Works Commissioner, and we were partners in crime when I was Director of Infrastructure. Then I was her Executive Officer at City Services, and now back working with her here. And I know you're not there, Barbara, but hopefully you'll hear about it. I can't wait to be back in cahoots with you, working with you all the way. I want to thank the City Council under the leadership of Council President Nuri Martinez for also having the confidence in confirming the mayor's appointment. I'm very grateful for the expediency and frankly, generosity they showed me in that process as well. And then I would be remiss, and I'm very appreciative of the kindness of my colleagues in recognizing my family, who are not shy in showing their faces on screen. My pops, Larry Good, my mother, Gay McDaniel, who are absolutely the foundations of my life. My brothers, Jeff Good, who is my conscience, professional and otherwise, and Larry Good, who I believe is on there, and Ricky Torlin-Cassie, my wonderful sisters, who I don't know if y'all know, Brandy Proctor on screen. Hi, Brandy. And Gazika and Yanwu and Lindsay Torlin-Cassie. And then the absolute lights of my life, the women I live with, Alicia Hancock and Ruby Jean Hancock Good, who once we get back to normal life, you will all see and meet, because they'll be around, and I'm incredibly grateful for their indulgence, among other things. And it's the mayor's office is an intense place, as all of us have experienced, and they've been incredibly supportive throughout that, and have been incredibly supportive through this process, and I have no doubt will be incredibly supportive as I fumble through becoming president of the Board of Public Works. So I'm grateful to a lot of folks. Lastly, loath as I am to say it, actually not lastly, I also want to thank my former team at the Legislative and Affairs team for the mayor, some of whom are on screen as well. Folks, thank you all for your incredible support. Incredible support. I love you very much. And then lastly, again, loath to acknowledge it, but I got some big, giant Sooner shoes to fill, and I will do my best to do so. President Kevin James, who is on there. Hello, Kevin. Kevin, in all, I love it. He's muted. I love it. It's fantastic. In all seriousness, it would be irresponsible. There we go. Hey, Kev. Irresponsible, unkind, and disingenuous if I didn't acknowledge the incredible legacy that Kevin has established as the president of the Board of Public Works. Many phenomenal predecessors, from Maureen Kendall to Felicia Marcus to my dear Capri Maddox and Cynthia Ruiz, all leading up to Kevin, who for the past 7 years, and I say this from myriad perspectives, and having worked with him so much, has just been extraordinary. An absolute rock, a surgical investigator of issues, who has really pushed this board, the work of this board, and the work of this city to levels of excellence that I can only hope to come close to, both in terms of leadership and in terms of just getting to the heart of the matter. I hope that you all, my colleagues, will help me get anywhere near Kevin's leadership. And so, Kevin, thank you, brother. Kevin is also a very dear friend, and I am grateful for your help in this process, for sure. And I will lean on you heavily, as you know. Same with you, Capri, in case you're out there listening. With that, colleagues, I do enthusiastically and zealously accept your nomination to serve as your president. It's exciting. At the risk of being master of the obvious, Claudia, we are in extraordinary and unprecedented times, and I truly view, and have always viewed, even before the layers of existential crisis that we are living through and working through right now, I've always viewed the Board of Public Works as an incredible vehicle, both in terms of the 5 wonderful departments who just do people's work every single day, the 5 general managers, the 5,500 women and men who go out every single day and do incredible work, and they build and they comprise this incredible institution that not only does, and to the marrow of my bones, will continue to be an extraordinary customer service organization that provides the City of Los Angeles with infrastructure programming and infrastructure projects and infrastructure maintenance that will put us at the very forefront of this nation, but also, and in particular at this moment, an incredible vehicle to move forward with intense intention, an agenda and actions of equity, of sustainability, and resiliency. These are the pillars of how we must move forward as a society and certainly as a city to survive, much less thrive. And I'm shooting for both. And so I will bring resolve and commitment to those principles, and I look forward with great enthusiasm to working with all of you towards those ends. So thank you again, colleagues, for your confidence. Thank you, my dear family and friends, for indulging and jumping on this Zoom, and I very much look forward to all of this. Thank you very much.
All the hands are going.
Oh, yeah, I just applauded myself. I shouldn't do that. So I guess this will be the first. This meeting is hereby adjourned. Last time I do this. Pops, this is for you.